And we're recording. Okay. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today for this information session. My name is Michelle Sabasco, and I am the Director of Extended Learning Academic Partnerships at Governor State University. Part of my charge has been expanding our WIOA approved programs. And so today's information session is all about WIOA, or the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act program. Okay, I'd like to welcome this morning Dr. Dana Washington from Kankakee County's Workforce Office in Bradley.
Good morning.
Morning, and I'd also like to welcome Miss Monica Lowe from Will County's Workforce Office in Joliet. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you both for being here. We really appreciate your time. Today, we're here to talk about funding opportunities for education, specifically the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. And right now, with everything that's going on with the pandemic and layoffs, etc., I can't think of a better time to get some education around this wonderful grant opportunity. So I'd just like to go ahead and begin with a couple of questions for both Monica and Tina. So chime in as you can here. But I know that because of the pandemic, a lot of you have moved to virtual, doing virtual information sessions kind of like this. Can you tell us about your program and how students can find you right now during the pandemic?
Would you like me to go first?
Sure, absolutely.
In Will County, we have moved, as Michelle said, a lot of our things virtual. Some of our services like workshops and those sorts of things are all done on Facebook Live. And then the good thing about doing it that way is that then if you can't join while it's actually going on, excuse me, then you can go on and view it later. We archive all of those on our Facebook page at the Workforce Center of Will County. So, yep, if you click there on any of the links, it should take you right to the page, and all of those workshops are archived. You can watch them anytime. We've actually found that it's increased participation because we have more people viewing it than when we were doing them in person. So it's helped us get the word out a little bit better that way. As far as the training programs that you're referring to, so our center serves Will County. And if you are interested in learning about the steps to qualifying for receiving what we call a career scholarship, which is training for attending school funding. That is also done on our website virtually. So Michelle, if you clicked on, if you go up a little bit on job seekers, yep, and then training. The video for orientation is, it says click here for the video orientation, and you just view that when you can, and then once you view the whole presentation, there are instructions at the end of it for what to do next. So what the student would do is view the video, get all the information, and then send an email to the Career Scholarships page. All the instruction is in there on what to do. With some of your basic information, and then someone will reach out to you to start your application, and we do that virtually. Someone screens, just make it sound like, sure that it sounds like you probably will be eligible, and then from there the intake person sends a secure link for you to upload some of your documentation, and so that it gets sent safely right to that person. And then she will set up an appointment to call that person and do their application over the phone. And then, we handle signatures back and forth that way, also through that secure link, so that we can, because we still have to have a physical application. So all of those steps are done virtually. You do not have to come into the office to do that. From there, there's, you know, a little bit more to the process, but all that again is explained in the orientation. But in order to get that basic service, you do not have to come in, it's all virtual. And then depending on what kind of program you're looking to go into, that all might be virtual too. A lot of training programs are online as well, so it's a good introduction to that. You can find information about a little more in the middle of the page that you have on there, where it says healthcare, manufacturing, professional, financial, IT, transportation. You can get some more information about the different industries that way. There's a little video on each one, so you can learn a little bit more about what is involved in each of those categories. And we do only provide training for occupations that are in demand. So all of that is on that page as well, a little bit more information about each one and what jobs are involved.
That's super helpful. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, okay, great. So Dana, would you please tell us a little bit about how to begin the process, how students can find you at Kankakee Community College's Workforce Services Department?
Sure. Actually, everything what Ms. Lowe said, ditto. In addition to that, we just do our orientation and intake process just a little bit different. On our webpage, which is up there, you can see right now, if you go down to the middle of the page, what we do to get people to, so they'll understand what's going on in the actual getting eligible and going through the orientation for our program, we ask everyone to go to our website to actually complete the eligibility survey questionnaire. And it gives us all the information that we need in order to do what we call a surface eligibility. We get all that information. It asks you every question that actually the application would ask, minus your social security or any what we call personal PII or personal information. So we have them to fill that out also. In addition to that, a lot of what we do is on our Facebook page, because one thing we know between Facebook and all of the social medias, that's where everything is, and it's just Kankakee Workforce Facebook page. You can see all of us too. I like that page. Go ahead and show our picture. Go to, okay. Kankakee Workforce. Uh-oh. You may have to.
I'll keep looking for it. You go ahead and keep talking.
Okay, thanks. So while she's going to the Facebook page, on our webpage, which is wioa.kcc.edu, has everything that you'll need. It takes you to, it talks about the workshops and the career training. Oh, show our picture. Go back up. So if you would like to see us, that's the career counselors, and we have one more that we and anybody, you can always go to our website, call us. We make sure we have our number. Everything is limited as well with us, but we do take individuals can come in, but it's by appointment only, because we are doing the social distancing and, you know, wearing our masks, doing all those things. You may have to type in Kankakee Workforce in order to get to that page, because sometimes I'm not sure why it doesn't work as well at KCC. Oh,
I'm not sure what's going on here.
Yeah, because I'm on it right now. But anyway, what we do is once we get your questionnaire, we actually call you, set up a virtual intake through our WebEx, and then we go through all of the steps, and the same with the secure link to upload your information as far as your driver's license, social security number, or birth certificate, those personal information. We have the secure link as well. We also invite you to, what we'll do is when we are doing your intake virtually, we actually invite you to set up an appointment, set up an appointment with you so you can come in and complete all the signatures. Just in case we need signatures for tuition and books and various other things. And then to have at least a personal meet you at least one time in person, because we may not meet you anymore in person, but we do all the virtual WebEx and Zoom. We also, in addition to that, we have our Google Text. We text you, we email you, so that we can keep that communication and have, develop some kind of relationship, since we know everything is so virtual. But anything that you need is definitely on our website. All of our information, whenever she get to our Facebook page, and I'll find out what's going on in a minute, because I'm actually on our Facebook page. And all of on our Facebook page, it's the same as in Will County. We have all of our job search, everything that you may need. Are you able to click on that one?
Let me see.
Yeah, click there.
Yes, here we go.
There you go, yeah. And it's just Kankakee Workforce Services. We put all our job listings, all of our different videos that we make, and even information we put on. Let me see if she can get to one.
Oh, look at this, help wanted. That's great.
And then like eligibility, we have, go back up a little. Yeah, right there. We have different videos for you to listen to, even just to talk about how you can become eligible for the program, just various things like that. Different ways. It's just, we have a lot of things out there just to kind of help make it a little bit easier for people to understand the program if they can't talk to us right away. But the easiest thing to do is just go to our website. You can always go to KCC, which is Kankakee Community College. And in the middle of the page, you will even see Workforce Office. And just complete the questionnaire, and we'll give you a call as soon as we get your questionnaire and set up you an appointment, so that we can set you up to go to the orientation. Our orientation is virtual. It's through WebEx. Actually, we just had one yesterday. We get quite a few people, and we go through every step through our PowerPoint and through all of the applications and all the documents that the individual have to sign, and so that you'll be prepared and know everything that you need to know when it's time to make sure you get all your paperwork in. And in addition to that, we give you a checklist to make sure that you have everything that you need before you either email or drop it off at our office. And where it says our office are open for limited appointments, that's because we give everybody an appointment, either WebEx or to come in, excuse me, so that we can make sure we get everything, cross our T's and dot our I's according to our government grant. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dana. We appreciate it. So if you both could talk about, so we know how to find you and all the different resources and great videos that you guys have put out, that's wonderful. But could you tell us who would qualify for funding? How do you become eligible to get funding for career training or education, retooling, retraining? Tell us how. Monica?
The two main ways is either by your income or by being laid off from your job right now. So the income portion of it depends on your family size, and that's when the intake person would ask you some questions about how much you are making, how many people are in your family. All of those things are counted and then calculated to see if you meet the guidelines that are out. And then by being laid off, it's, if you're laid off and receiving unemployment, that's one way. That's not all of it, but a lot of people right now, if you're laid off, you do qualify. We need to, look up your information and see that you're collecting your benefits and all of that. But for a better idea, the intake person would go over all that and ask the right questions and make sure. So if you are laid off or low income right now, it's worth checking out, watch the video, and then send the email so you can have somebody actually reach out to you. So, you know, until someone tells you that you're not eligible, it's at least worth checking into if you think you might meet those guidelines.
Got it. Thank you so much for that. Dana, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, because we do try to make sure everybody understand all of the eligibility criteria. So we, besides on our career training, the information, but there are actually 9 ways, just, you know, so people will know how to qualify. If you receive cash, welfare, food stamps, homeless, and as she said, family income calculation, family of 1 with disability, basic skills deficient, you do qualify for our program. And the basic skills deficient is you have to take what we call a test of adult basic education. And it's a TABE, which is a math and a reading test. And if you are deficient on that, you definitely qualify for our program. And then we have other ways. If you are a youth or a young adult between the ages of 14 and 24, if you get free lunch, free or reduced lunch, you live in a high poverty area, or you're a foster child. So we do go through all of that. Most people, if you go through the 9 ways to be eligible, you kind of, when you complete your questionnaire, you almost know that you're eligible, especially if you receive cash, welfare, or food stamps within the last 6 months. So you'll know that right away.
Got it. That's helpful. Thank you so much. And so we did talk a little bit about how to begin the process of securing funding. And so that is going to these websites and completing the eligibility survey, or going to the jobsforpeople.org website and looking at training, right? So these are the ways to begin the process of securing funding out of Will County or Kankakee County. I do also want to show you guys briefly National ABLE as well. National ABLE, our representative there, Rocio Montoya, was not able to make it today for our event, but I did want to show you, if you would like to utilize National ABLE, you can do so by clicking here under nationalable.org/enroll. It's similar to this eligibility survey, or similar to beginning the process here at Will County. This is out of Cook County. They're located at Prairie State, and they also have an interactive program orientation webinar, which is going to kind of work similar to what we're doing here today. Okay, so just so you guys know, there's a couple of different options. You've got Will County, Cook County, and of course, Kankakee County. So start where you live is what I would recommend. Would you guys recommend that also, to start where you live?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, and so the next question we want to find out a little bit about is, you know, this is a great opportunity for somebody that has been laid off, or someone that's, you know, underemployed, or just not quite making it. They need a little help from food stamps or something like that. Could you explain, like, what is the timeline? What sort of steps are students taking during that time frame? You guys talked a little bit about providing documentation and stuff like that. Could you talk about the time frame and what sort of documentation that students might need to secure funding?
The time frame isn't long. Once you view that video and send the email to request someone, within a couple of days, someone will give you a call and at least do some basic screening. From then, they'll send you a link for you to send your documentation, and it could be things like check stubs, birth certificate, social security card, you know, proof of your who's in your household, proof of your unemployment, whatever it is that they need to try to get you to qualify. And then they set up a time to actually, so that the intake person can get those documents, get them printed out, and then actually go through and do the application with you over the phone. They will set up a phone appointment for that. So, you know, it's a pretty short time as long as you get your things in after they request that. Normally she'll set an appointment a couple days later just to get people time to get all their things together and get them sent in. After that, we do have students who are interested in going to school. We do have them attend a week-long, it's called Career Certified, and they do things like work on the resume, do a mock interview. It's just to make sure that once you do finish your training that you have all the tools you need in order to find employment afterwards. So that is part of it. That is also online. And once that's finished, then you're actually set up with someone in our office and have a virtual meeting with them about what needs to get done in order to get you enrolled in school. So within a couple of weeks, you could be starting school if all falls into place and everything gets in. So it's not a long process. It more depends on the student and their ability, their time, ability, and all of that.
Thank you so much for that. Dana, did you have anything to add to that?
She's exactly right. It's up to the student, because we give them, once they complete their questionnaire and we get that information back, and we email them all the forms that we need from them to complete. And it's up to them. It could be 2 days or it could be a month. It's just up to how long they want to take to submit their information. Because once we send the secure link to them, and even if we're doing what we call an individual orientation, because classes are, maybe the classes beginning to start early or they have late starting classes, it's all up to the student. As soon as you get your paperwork in and we're able to look at your paperwork and do an intake, which the intake takes every bit of about 30 or 40 minutes, and complete your paperwork, then you're set up. What we do is, on our checklist, we have to make sure that the students, when we say have everything, we require them to go to the schools and get what we call a master academic plan. Our program is for 3 years. So we need them to go get a master academic plan to show us every class they will take in those 3 years to complete their degree, so that we're able to make sure that we know they can get through that. And then we have what we call our Workplace Excellence series that we take individuals through. It's maybe an hour for about a week, but we take them through that to make sure that they are committed to going to training. But for the most part, they can get it done in anywhere from 2 days to a month. It depends on the individual and how fast they want to get in.
Thank you so much. That's helpful. And I do want to let our listeners know that if you are at that academic plan step and you need assistance with that, you can always reach out to me directly. I can help you if Governor State has the program that you're choosing to move forward with. Okay, so I can help you with that or direct you. All right, and so would you offer any tips for helping to make the process kind of streamlined, simplified? Any suggestions or tips? Because I know sometimes it can go really fast and sometimes it's prolonged. So what do we need to know? What tips can you offer? Either of you.
I think a good tip right now is when you're making your total plan, it's good to have your whole plan mapped out and how you're going to support yourself during that time too. Sometimes it's easy to rush into training and think that that's going to, and it will usually help your employment prospects going forward, but you still have to be able to survive while you're doing that. So sometimes it means taking a part-time job or reevaluating your expenses or whatever that is. So just to think about the entire plan and not just the idea that things will be okay if you just get into school. for some people a little bit more difficult right now because you have to be able to handle online in most cases, and what that's going to mean for you in your time, and if you have kids at home right now. So it's my advice is just to think about everything that's going to be involved in that, because you only get one chance at doing this, and you want to make sure that you have everything in place. That's about it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. My tip is always, because you got to demonstrate to yourself as well as to us, like she said, that you have the funds to at least eat, drink, survive, pay your bills some kind of way. So my tip is to do a budget before you start. So you'll know, do a budget and have a plan, because all of that fits into the whole gamut of getting things done. Make sure you go, if you're interested in school, complete your financial aid, your FAFSA, your free financial aid, so you'll know I'll have this as well as I'll have WIOA, and and I can make it through. But plan, sit down, plan it, get you a little budget to help you, plan all your expenses and your income, and then, make sure you sign up for financial aid. Number one, make sure you completed your taxes for at least 2 years ago for 2018, because that'll cut down on a lot of stuff when it comes to financial aid. They have MAP and they have FAFSA. So we need to make sure you complete your financial aid, because that's part of your budget.
Thank you so much. That really, really helps. I want to take a moment now to share with you, our listeners here, that at Governor State University, we have approximately 30 professional development programs and certificates that are currently WIOA approved, and they come from different areas that are in demand. These are job opportunities, training opportunities that will lead to in-demand opportunities within our local area, our regional area. And so we have some business and industry studies. We've got some business and office skills. We even have career training for non-native English speakers. So some bilingual HVAC. Okay, so that's a unique offering that we're providing now. Lots of computer and information technology studies that we offer here at Governor State University, and those are very in demand, as you all know. Legal studies, medical studies, and also different trade and skills studies. In addition to these professional development programs and certificates, we also offer various undergraduate and certificate and graduate programs that are approved. Okay, we are in, of course, University Park in Will County, but our reach for certain programs spreads even farther to Kankakee. We offer a Bachelor's of Business Administration at Kankakee. We offer a Bachelor's of Criminal Justice at Joliet Junior College. And we offer several different programs at Triton College. So our reach, Governor State University's reach, is extensive, and we're here to serve and provide services to you. I'd like it if you ladies could just talk briefly about if a student was interested in pursuing funding for an undergraduate, a graduate, or a certificate program. How is that going to differ or be similar to the process when applying for professional development programs or certificate programs? Monica?
Most of the things that we fund are more at the certificate level, because we have to satisfy all of our time requirements and cost requirements too. So mostly they're certificate programs. We would not fund an entire bachelor's degree. It's not in the goal or of WIOA or in the realm of that. But there were cases where somebody's close and maybe has a few classes left or a semester left. Sometimes, depending on the cost and everything else, we can do maybe even the last year of their program. So it's really a case-by-case basis of what that person has, what they need in order to get to work. You know, maybe they started a degree, several years ago, and they got down to only having one semester left. And after meeting with the college that they want to attend, finding that they can do it within the parameters of what we can do. So I can't say we would never do that, but start to finish, it would not be to fund an entire bachelor's degree. It's more a certificate program. And the idea is that a person does their training as quickly as it's possible for them to do so that they can get to work as soon as possible. So that's the reason for that.
Thank you so much. And Dana?
And so we do, but our scholarship is only up to $10,000. So you would have to demonstrate to us that you can complete your bachelor's degree within that 3-year period, and you will only get $10,000 for that entire 3 years, which means you would definitely have to apply for financial aid and any financial aid and scholarships, because $10,000 we know is not enough to pay for a bachelor's degree. But we do help you throughout that process. That's where the master academic plan comes in, showing us how you must demonstrate how you can complete the program within the 3 years if you're trying to get a bachelor's, and demonstrate how you're going to get the other money to help you through that program. Throughout that time, you can get certificates, because those are credentials, different things that you can get. We have people that they start with us the last year of their RN program, and then they'll go into a BSN fast track to get their nursing certificate, and we help them with that. And when they end, they have a bachelor's in nursing, and they have it where they demonstrate to us how they can complete their program, the entire program, which is in 3 years, because they can be an RN, bridge over to BSN, and complete the program. Definitely a lot of scholarships and financial aid must be demonstrated, because $10,000 would not pay for a bachelor's. We know that. But we do help. We do try to help you through that process. And it's the same process as if you were going to get an associate or a certificate. You have to demonstrate to us how you're going to do it.
Thank you so much. No, that makes a lot of sense. And I know where I've had students come in that are using WIOA funding for their bachelor's degree. It's in their last semester that it starts typically. And all financial aid has been exhausted, and multitudes of scholarship dollars have been applied for. So I do try to educate our students on that process. So I just want to go ahead and begin recapping. I thank you guys so much for participating with us. I do want to reinforce that the application process for students is simple, and it can be approved rather quickly. The speed of the approval really is dependent upon your follow through, on the student's follow through, okay? The orientation, the appointments, you've got to follow up, you've got to be in touch with your WIOA counselor, and you've got to get it done, okay? It's simple, but if you miss a step in that process when you're working with Monica or you're working with Dana, you might not get that funding, okay? The other thing I want to reinforce is that every student, every individual is unique, and every pathway might be a little different in this overall process. The other thing I want to reinforce is that during the application process, GSU can help you. If you're asked for an academic study plan to submit to the WIOA office, we can help. If you need tuition information, we can help, okay? Again, to qualify, you must be low income, unemployed, underemployed, a dislocated worker, or laid off. And you should begin the application process whenever you meet the eligibility criteria, because WIOA and these ladies at these offices can sometimes find ways to help with other costs. I know transportation, when that is a need, can sometimes be covered. costs of books or uniforms can sometimes be covered. So I just want you to know that those are options too. Again, if you're looking at a degree program or finishing up a bachelor's program, you really want to be towards the end of that program and have exhausted all financial aid in order to be eligible. And, you know, if you're in need, let's say you've just been recently laid off or something has happened and you need other services, the WIOA offices can help you. Kankakee's office, Will County's office can sometimes help you to link up to other much needed services like food stamps. Perhaps, you know, health insurance is in need or child care assistance, okay? I will send an email out after this session to all the registrants, just with some details on how to begin the process along with your links. And I just, again, want to reinforce that WIOA is about helping people grow into all that they can be. And some of the key people that you're going to need on this path are right here. And you'll have all their contact information after we finish up here. I think at this point, we're sort of all set. We're going to open up for questions in just a few moments. But Monica or Dana, do either of you have anything to add?
Dana had mentioned their cap. Just to point out, for Will County, our cap for the funding amount is $7,500. So it's just another example that each office does operate a little bit different. Each office pays for different things. The services that Michelle talked about as far as transportation and all that, we don't currently do, but some other offices may do. So each place is a little bit different, and depending on funding levels, that could change from year to year too. So just again, the case by case, depending on what it is you need and what that office can offer, it might vary a little bit depending on where you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Because in Kankakee County, where Will County have a really big bus system, Kankakee County, we don't have that. So we have to make sure our students are able to get back and forth to school. So we do pay for transportation, as a lot of our students live in the rural areas. And if they don't have transportation, we don't assist them with transportation because they may not be able to get to the school, especially if they have labs. Right now, we know a lot of things are virtual, but people that are in different, like welding, where they have to go into a lab at least once, because if you don't go into a lab, you may not know how to weld. You may know the book information, but not the actual interaction. But yeah, that is definitely true. Each office has something different, and depending on where you're located, because we are in a rural area.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And thank you for pointing out the virtual, because I do want to point out that a lot of these professional development programs at GSU, and probably most of what you guys are working with at Will County office in Kankakee, it's virtual. Everything right now is online because of the pandemic, including how to begin this process. So again, I want to thank you very much, Monica Lowe from Will County's office. You can begin your process here at jobsforpeople.org. And of course, Dana Washington from Kankakee Community College Workforce Services. You can begin your process at wioa.kcc.edu. Of course, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. I'm Michelle Sabasco at Governor State University. And my contact information is here at govst.edu/WIOA. So if you guys have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to any of us. We're here to help. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to stop the recording and I'm going to open up for questions. Thank you so much.